Hello, I'm Dutch. I'm Frisian. I grew up there in the 50s. I knew already from 5 years old that I wanted to go to sea. I started to go to sea when I was 16, joined the Navy for 6 years, the Dutch Navy. Sailed on all kinds of boats and sailed around the world with the Navy. So I was a radio operator, and in those days it was still with Morse signals and things like that. It was a good life and a lot of sailing, but no sails on the sailing ships. Everything was on engine, but there was also sailing community. There were little boats in the Navy that you could hire and you could learn sailing and things like that. So I was a member of that. I went to Muiden, close to Amsterdam. I joined the botter fleet. Botters are wooden old sailing vessels from the Zuiderzee, and they were used for sailing students around and school classes. I was always, if you start on a botter, you're straight away the captain. The world became bigger and bigger for us. The Enkhuizer Zeevaartschool started off. I joined the second year. I did that for mate and for captain. And then you had to make sea time on ships, coastal steamers, whatever. So in the summertime I sailed. And then in the wintertime I collected sea time on trips through Europe, Mediterranean, Norway. And I did also a couple of months in Scotland on the west coast, sailing on the Captain Scott. And then went back to the botters and we sailed first the IJsselmeer, Waddenzee, but then I became skipper on a blazer, TX-33, and that was a bit bigger. So we sailed to the Baltic. And then I was asked to become a captain on a Norwegian vessel called Anna Christina. She's a hardanger yacht, so kind of a galjas, catch rigged. So I sailed the west coast of Norway and then up to Spitsbergen in the summertime. Did some movie stuff also. We had, of course, the Cisne Branco with trials and telling them how studding sails are working, things like that. Also in China for the Chinese clipper. I never expected in my dreams, in my wildest dreams, that I could be a captain of a square rigger. The Europa was bought in 86 by Harry Smith, and he restored it in about 7-8 years. So, and he was the king of the botters, they call him in Muiden. So he asked me if I would like to become the captain of the Europa. So when she started sailing in 93, 94, I joined her for many years. The first up till 2000 we sailed. We started sailing in 94 to the Baltic, North Sea, Mediterranean. But in 2000 we became more independent. We didn't use a charter office anymore, and we did it ourselves. And we sailed to the United States, Canada, and then later also into the Pacific to Korea, Japan. We started also with the Antarctica voyages then, long ocean crossings, and then you're far away from everything. You're your own captain and you have your own little country around you and you can talk to each other. Phones are not working, there's no internet. You can send a message to shore, that's about it. But you have to talk to each other, and that makes it so different. And we had to do some, alterations during the times. We're bringing in air conditioning and things like that if you sail in the tropics, and more modern equipment in navigation stuff. And of course the rules are always changing. We're sailing under the same rules as any cargo ship. So that's something to keep track of. And also for Antarctica you need special rules. So they try to fit everything in good rules, but most of the things stay the same, only there's more paperwork connected to it. So that makes it more difficult. for us, and especially rules that are made for sailing ships, but for big cargo ships or ferry boats. Or the Europa is a special purpose ship, so the guests are involved in the whole running of the ship. You're just on a big sailing ship, and that's also the category of people that we try to attract, because otherwise you get the wrong kind of people that want to sit in a nice chair, and that if somebody could bring the rum coke. That's not the idea. To make a sailing ship greener, just take a little bit more time in your program so that you don't need the engine and have enough time to sail around. But if you have to be there in time and you have to start engine because you can't reach it in time, that's a big point. Eh? Then you screw up the atmosphere on board for that moment. Sailed a couple of times around the Horn, Cape Horn, on an official way doing it with no engine use and things like that. Oh, you should ask them. I think they like the school because it's different. It's not a school. It's a community. Older people that are interested in the knowledge that I gathered during these many years. Well, goodbye. See you in class.